Look, detectives combing through the hood looking for a corpse. Draco hitting, I don't think your body can endure the force. I whipped the fish up with a fucking hanger or a fork. Told that bitch, go ahead, sniff what you want, there's plenty more to snort. I had an outstanding warrant for a short. Turned myself in, rocking Louis and all my jewelry, I wore the court.
Hard to kill. I can't explain how happy I am to have this brother in the room, man. This is a great friend of mine. We got DOC DRE in the building tonight. Doc, give him a little bit about yourself, brother.
What's going on, people? You know me, man. Just one of the real ones out here. Young Jeezy, the great philosopher, he said it best, real recognized real. And, you know, I've always prided myself on not just only recognizing real, but being real myself. So, you know, just regular dude, doing regular shit. I got 3 kids and a wife. You know, going through life problems, aging. I got like gray hairs and shit. That's just crazy. I picked up like a little bit extra weight. My injuries kind of prevent me from being in the shape that I used to be. So I'm kind of at a different stage of my life where I'm kind of like accepting that I'm getting old as fuck and like tough. I'm gonna fucking die one day. So, you know, instead of like getting anxiety or being worried about that, it kind of propels me and pushes me to do stuff that most people would be like, oh dang, how'd you do that or whatever. And it's just like, because I'm driven by something that's like, I feel like the clock is ticking on my life and I need to do something purposeful.
Instead of dwelling on that, you use it to motivate you.
Well, because in the military, we had all the purpose, bro. You have all the purpose. Every day you wake up is for purpose. Every fucking breath you take
I feel like that's
purpose.
The one thing none of us were prepared for losing.
We weren't, because they didn't have the systems built. Luckily now, they have put a lot of money into prevention programs at the federal level to help. We were kind of the ones who piloted that, but they're there to prevent and help that and help you deal with those stripping of identity.
Rep your brand. Let them know who you're with.
2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines. Hoorah,
cool.
Semper Fi. 8404, Navy Corpsman. But I'm Marine Corps Regs, which means I got the Charlies with the fucking Corpsman badge on it, with the FMF pin, with the Combat Action Ribbon. I ain't seen really a lot of cats like me.
You know that uniform.
I'm from the old school, did 3 deployments, all with the Marine Corps. Ended up re-injuring my ACL and then went through, basically, like I tell the story, bro, is when I was with the Marines, I had to be the hardest motherfucker, bro. You cannot crack, you cannot break. Real. Not to mention, we just took 186 casualties last deployment. We're coming right back. We need to fucking get revenge. So I can't miss it out. I can't miss the Super Bowl. What the fuck? I trained all season for this shit. I can't miss it. So there's an aspect of me that, you know, has really taken this grit from what the military has given me and made me who I am. So I'm able to see like, bro, these things are so important to have these programs that help people when they get out, because we didn't have that. And so the government now providing these programs to help people deal with, really, it's kind of like an identity crisis. It really is, sort of.
It really is.
You're used to doing something, you're in a pattern, you know, you feel purposeful.
Anytime it comes to changing yourself, dude, is
change in general. It's very hard.
You told me it when I told you it the first time that I was going through it. It's deconstruction of that facade that you built to survive in the environment that we were in. And I don't even think you realize that you have to. And we always complain about it's hard to, you know, transition back into civilian life, but you need to be the person that, you know, makes an effort to work on yourself.
For sure. And there's a lot of resources out there for veterans, for active duty about to get out. If you're in active duty and you're about to get out, you know, go to TAPS class, motherfucker, try to go to that shit twice, because they're going to put you on game on how to get these good federal jobs, how to get the contracting jobs. Because that's a big component too about getting out, is your money right. Because my money was right, and now that shit got shut off. So is my money right now? Things have to change, not just in your identity, but in your financial budget. Sometimes you change your locations because you leave your duty station or whatever and you go back home. So there is so many changes out there. And the biggest thing that has helped me and the people around me is utilizing those resources. They got them. Like, bro, you don't want to go to the VA. You do want to go to the VA, bro. You might have some bad experiences, but just try to understand from their perspective. Yeah. You got, and if your doctor's not helping you because they're just writing you off like you're a number, which does happen, they get tired of the shit too. Bro, find a new fucking doctor. Ones. Exactly. And there are good doctors that actually do care out there. And when you find them, you hold on to them. I was just telling Nick, I have a psychiatrist who I've had actually since I was active duty. And when I got out, he was working with the VA. And I ended up linking back up with him. And so I've had him for like 12 years. And I know this motherfucker like so well. He knows everything about me. Like I cry in there when I talk to him. And
just to
it's
preface what you just said about
helped.
psychiatrists, though, it's so hard for people like us to find a suitable psychiatrist to talk about these things, dude. These demons that we have, because I don't know about you, but I gotta know that you're hearing me, not just like sitting there listening to me, gripe. I want to know you understand where I'm coming from, man.
For sure.
And I don't think it's common that a lot of them are ready for us. I don't know about you, but did it take you a while to find that guy, or were
It
you
took me a
lucky?
couple of tries, but I was lucky in the sense that when he was basically, in his younger ages is when the United States started these wars, right? OEF,
So he went through it,
OIF.
yeah.
So he saw these combat veterans coming back, and that really was in the beginning of his career where it kind of molded him. And he
Damn,
saw
you were
so
lucky
many.
finding him.
Oh, bro, I
Did it demotivate you when you like had to find a new one and move
it
on?
did 100%. Not to mention,
Did it make it? I'm trying to. Did it make you think it was you? You know what I'm saying? Like, was it me that? Am I too
no,
raw for this?
I just knew it was the system, bro, because they move them around a lot. A lot of the people in the VA are there on their. You got some
Oh, you
seniority
got
caps,
you, you
but-
got a psychiatrist through the VA.
Well, first it was active duty. He was working there, and then when I transitioned out, because I did the IDES program where they medically retire you as you're getting out. When I did the IDES program, I had a caseworker, and she basically
Recommended.
connected me to the doctors. But my same doctor had left his position
Gotcha.
and went to work for the VA, and I linked back up with him, just kind of out of luck, to be honest. But he, it's really helpful, and I actually have told him. I've said, why don't you use your authority to recommend that, if especially now in our technology, like if you're seeing a certain doctor and you have to move, or that doctor has to move because they're using, like they rotate the doctors or whatever,
And the turnovers.
the turnover,
Yeah.
whatever it is, they can still treat you remotely.
Mm.
Because sometimes I see my doctor on the phone without a video, or sometimes with the video, and sometimes in person. And having that consistency
It's so
and
important.
not just that, bro, but like I had one doctor that I had to go see, and she basically was like trying to give me all these pills.
Yeah.
And she was like, "You're not gonna help you feel like," she said, I remember to this day, and I know her name, I'm not gonna shout her out, I'll respect her, but she said, "If you take this pill, you will feel like you won't have to change the world." And honestly, that's the
What?
only real part of me that actually cares to live. Because a lot of me is just like, bro, I'll never have as much
Why would I
fun
want
as
to
I
change
had.
that? Yeah.
Exactly. Why would you want to take that away
Yeah,
from me?
yeah.
She called it bipolar. Like, you can call it whatever you want. It's me
I love that about
in
you.
general. But that's what I'm saying. Like, my doctor that knew me would never recommend some shit, because he knew that I still had this thing in me that was looking to change the world. I just didn't know where
The
to
last
point it at.
podcast I did, we talked about finding your true north. That thing in you that, like, I won't do this, or I don't believe in this, and that is one of my true norths, dude. Is knowing that I can possibly influence something that maybe will spark a change in something, and turn something that maybe I view as bad. And I basically, when I recognize something like that, I need to at least work towards something that I think could change it. And if I'm not, I feel like I'm wasting my time, or I get very demotivated.
But thank God, bro, because honestly, like, it is kind of wasting time. Like, what are you on this planet for?
Exactly.
If you're not trying to do something to help it out, like wherever's in your immediate circle, you try to help make that better. And if everybody's doing that, we could have such an amazing world. We wouldn't
Absolutely.
have to rely on corporations, or we wouldn't have to rely on the government. We could literally
It's
build
such a
our
positive
own
feeling
system.
too. Have you ever been in an environment where, like, either in a team or maybe yourself, that you worked hard at something and accomplished it, and it felt just when you accomplish something. I'm comparing like our team in Afghanistan, when we all worked together cohesively, and there was no selfishness. We all just played our role,
For sure.
and we accomplished something. It was one of the best feelings I've ever felt in my life.
For sure, bro.
And you know what? I've been trying so hard I think the way I'm going to win in life is somehow emulating that into the civilian environment.
I mean, you sort of are here, bro. Like, you've made a community, you've made a place, and especially with technology nowadays, and religion's not being so important. Like, we still need these community aspects. Technology has kind of put people in a place where you either use it to help you with community, or it can kind of take your community. And so you've used it to build a community of people And even if it's one or two people that you help change, you never know that one or two people is going to help another two.
Absolutely.
And those two are going to help another two. And it's just a literal effect that could last for however long the human kind lasts.
Absolutely.
And so, like, if you're not doing that, what are you doing? You're just taking up resources. Like,
or we're just bitching about our problems. You know what I'm saying? Like we all talk about the issues that we may or may not have came back with over there. But are you just gonna be satisfied with like just dealing with that for the rest of your life? No, fuck no, dude. I wanna try to at least combat it somehow. I mean, we stand on stuff like that, bro. Like, and I feel like that's a big problem in the veteran community, man. No one's coming to help you. You know what I'm saying?
stagnation. I mean, the VA will help you to a certain extent.
But they're not going to go above and beyond to service you. You have to put in the effort to at least find someone or, you know, locate this help.
No doubt. And it happens to people. Like, I'll tell you a story about one of my corpsman buddies. One of my best corpsman buddies, he did 3 deployments. I did 2 with them actually. When you and I, because they put us away as like a special unit, the rest of 2-3 was up in Fiddler's Green or some shit, and they were kind of doing like hearts and minds stuff. But he was on that deployment too. Anyways, when he got out the military, because he did a deployment in Iraq for me with 2-3, which was that crazy deployment that the captain like got sniped or whatever, or the commander. Anyways, he basically dipped, bro. He dipped out to Germany and just was kind of living out there. He was in France for a little bit, and I was kind of in contact with him, and I'm like, bro, did you ever, you know, go see the VA or anything? He was like, nah, fuck, I didn't do anything. It got to a point, though, where he was just like, he was being very, his decisions were just harming his life, right? And he ended up...
Self-sabotaging.
Exactly, self-sabotaging, that's the word I was looking for. And so he came back to the United States, and I was kind of like talking to him every day, and I'm like, bro, just go get seen at the VA. And he was like, no, they're not going to believe me. He's like, you know, it's 5 years later, whatever. And he said, literally, he said this, and this has stuck with me, and I think it's important to share. When he went and they seen him, and, you know, they were just like open about him coming to get treatment, but the lady said, she was like, yeah, it's about the same time everybody comes in. Like, people come in 4 or 5 years later to finally get the help.
Type.
And now he's got 2 beautiful kids, on a third one on the way, a beautiful wife.
Oh, so it worked out for him.
Oh, bro, he's in France. His kids are running around playing arc
racing.
racing.
Happy to hear that.
He's running around. His kids are speaking French in the back.
You know, you do that for a lot of people, dude, because I don't know if you remember this. You did that for me. I remember where I was on a gate, and you know, me and Dre always keep communication and just, you know, talk about, you know, we always, we're very close, and we keep a solid, you know, back and forth. And, you know, I was opening up to him. I was talking about some issues that I had, that a stage of PTSD, I think. I come from an era where I didn't believe it. I thought it was all just like...
Yeah, it's make-believe. And
I realized that fucked me up so much worse, because I was going through these things and I didn't know what they were. And it really comes full circle on you. And you're right, it's scary to go just talk to someone about it, because it's like, are they going to hear me? Are they going to believe me, dude? Am I going to be marked as crazy for the rest of my life? Like, at that time, PTSD was very new, you know?
For sure. Mental health wasn't... It was
exactly. And think about it, dude. Think of where we come from, dude. You don't talk about your shit. You bury that shit. Yeah. You stay active.
And you do the fucking PFQ or PFRQ, whatever it is, little questionnaire. You're just like, nope.
Yep. But I did, and I'm grateful for you. You know, you'll point me in that right direction, because it definitely helped me.
Thanks for letting me know that, bro. I mean, when I'm at my worst, I try to remember those things. It's like, yo, I'm still here for a reason. Like, so it's a choice to stay here on this planet. Because, man, I'll probably my enjoyment, my adrenaline rush will never reach what it reaches in a firefight. And when you win that firefight, it's like a Super Bowl times a million. And so
talk about that real quick, dude.
Everything else is just kind of boring, to be honest, unless you're still involved in something like that.
I've never had more of a...
You're deadened, kind of, like your nervous system.
It feels weird talking about it like it's a good thing, but the feeling of just... Do you remember when we drove into... We were QRF, and we were it was when I took that. We were driving into a hot area, and and it was night, so all we could see were the tracers just lighting up the sky, and it was like, we're driving right into this right now, dude. And when that faces you finally, and you have to make that decision, am I gonna rack this back, and am I gonna fucking get us through this, or am I gonna fucking cower? I think proving yourself is very important in an environment like that. Knowing that I can keep my calm and operate and work within my team to accomplish this. But yeah, there's nothing that'll ever match that.
And that honestly goes to, you know, I'm one of the more critical people on like our military shit, but let's call it what it is. That right there is owed to the training, because the training that we get every fucking day by, you know, some of my Sergeant Bruno, rest in peace. That boy had been on 5 deployments before he went on the one with me, so he had already knew about a lot of shit, bro. He had like built like a makeshift gym for us at the COP, you know.
Oh, he was hip to all the.
He knew what to do, bro, because he had been there, and he knew the training that we needed, and he prepared us for the deployment. And I remember when, you know, I got into the multiple firefights that I've been in, it was like instinctual, especially as a corpsman when I had to treat. I remember a story. I was in a convoy. We were going up to a different base, and it was like a logistics convoy, but they needed some security, so they pulled us infantry boys in. And I remember the convoy hit an IED, and we started taking some fire. And I remember I'm in the back of the MRAP, and my sergeant's like on the radio, and I'm like, Sergeant, because I heard on the radio that somebody got hit. One of the gunners got hit. And I'm like, Sergeant, do I need to go out, right? Because I'm a corpsman. This is my first deployment too, maybe like 5 or 6 months in, near the end. And I'm like, do I need to go out? Like, you know, do I need to do medical training? He was like, no. And this motherfucker gets out the vehicle, and we're just like in the back of the MRAP, you know, just kind of in a cordon at the time. Our vehicle wasn't taking direct fire, but there was some shots being fired that you could hear, and fucking talking guns and whatnot. And I remember I'm just in the MRAP, and I'm just like sitting there, and I'm like, fuck, right, like I'm ready, whatever. Pounding on the door, bah, 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 bah. Fucking Sergeant Bruno at the time, he ended up, he ended up dying from a car accident. So 6 deployments, and a drunk driver killed him. Oh, he even was EOD. He was graduate EOD. He was a sergeant at the time though, but Sergeant Bruno opens the door and he's like, Doc, get the fuck out here. This corpsman throws up, bro. And I remember just...
That's a big moment for you.
Just running out there. Yeah, and he was an E5, and I was, I think I had made E4, but I had like put it on or something. The test had came out, so I was like a select or something. But like, I rode up there, bro, and this dude was like frozen. Like literally frozen.
The other doc,
E5, and like a fucking, like you can tell who's hard and who's not. Like this dude did not need to go outside the wire. Like whoever put him there, they were fucking
endangering everybody else.
They were like in a relaxed state of mind that they thought that was a good idea.
And that happens more times.
But this motherfucker froze. But like, bro, I remember seeing him freezing, and then I just went into my training, like assessed the injuries, started to, put a fucking nasopharyngeal in this dude, like started reviving him because he was going in and out of consciousness. And the other dude was just kind of like standing there. And what it came down to, bro, is he was a fucking augment from the hospitals because they need so much medical. They just pull a dude that might have went to like FMTB, the Field Medical Training Battalion, which is the training you learn as a corpsman with the Marines. Like he did that shit 3 or 4 years ago, but he'd been working at the hospital desk for the last 4 years, and they pulled him. And what it came down to, the difference between him and I was my training, because my sergeant, I started with the Marines right off the bat, and I was with a unit 2-3 that had already been to like 4 or 5 deployments. Like they were hard, and my staff sergeants were fucking 4, 5, 6 deployments in, and so they made sure that we were fucking trained. So, like in that instance when you were going through that and you're like, should I rack back, bro? It was the training. The Marine Corps just trained you in a way that was like, bro, I'm gonna respond on instinct. And that feeling of being able to respond at that level and everything that goes into that, bro, is like you'll never get that back.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like
never match that.
So I tell my kids, I put a lot of work into helping them get really physically fit and really good at their sport. And I tell them, I'm like, if you guys go pro, I still want you to join the military, because you'll never fucking get anything else like you get from having to train every day. And then hopefully you would never go to war as a kid, but like having to train every day for something, and you train at a level that's because it's life or death. So like you're training at a level that is so serious. Every fucking detail is scrutinized. You know what I'm saying? Every spec is looked at and
if
criticized.
it's not, you're not getting the right training.
100%. Or you're about to get your ass reamed. You're about to go fucking dig a hole for 4 hours, and you'll never do that shit again. You'll pay attention more. Like, it just does something to you that brings out this part of you that I'll never be that good again.
That's a fact.
And that shit sucks.
You know, I have a good question for you. Dre's very humble, and for Dre to be a doc in a heavily, you know, aligned company, Marine infantry unit, like,
Right.
what was a moment for you where, like, you know, at first, when people don't know you, they're going to be looking down at you and they're not considering you one of them. What was the moment where, like, you clicked with everybody and they realized, oh, he's one of us, dude. Like, this dude can be fucking counted on. You know, that was a big moment for you. And I never really thought about that, but...
It's probably the story I told you
Yeah.
earlier about in my first deployment. Because when I had got to the unit, basically when I got to the unit, there was like 8 of us corpsmen that had just got out of FMTV, shipped to 2-3. And I remember we showed up like on the weekend. So like the regiment checked us in, and then they were like, go here's your rooms. You're with the regiment right now, but the battalion's going to be pulling you guys down or whatever. And so I remember the regiment chief on Monday, he was like, all right, who wants to go to Iraq with 3-3? He's like, they're going to be doing like chow hall duty, fucking, nothing crazy. And some of the like corpsmen with kids and stuff, I get it. It was like, me. And I'm like, man, I'm like, no. And then he's like, oh, okay, who wants to go to Afghanistan where you guys are going to be in Helmand Province in the motherfucking shit? I was like, me. And at that point, bro, it was so serious for me because they was like, all right, you guys that are going with 2-3, you're fucking literally going to CAX in 2 weeks and you're going to be in Afghanistan in 2 months. And so when I first got there, it was like already serious for me because it was like, fuck, not to mention, like I told you, these dudes that just came back from Iraq.
Yep.
So like, it was like super serious. So, I trained my ass off. They treated me like a boot, whatever, like they do in the beginning. But when we actually got to Camp Leatherneck and we were in that stage where, they're like staging shit to bring you in.
Shit. Yep.
And this Lance Corporal that was like sweaty as fuck, and he probably should have been a sergeant or staff sergeant already, but it is what it is. He never got picked up for rank, but he was still super sweaty, and he fucking did like 4 deployments, so he had like some salt, and he knew his shit. He was good, but he beefed with me a lot, and he was probably doing it out of like a good intention, but he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. And especially me, a younger me, I bucked against that, and we got into a fight in the hooch in fucking Camp Leatherneck right before we were about to push out to cops, not a fob motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? A cop, where it's a literally combat outpost, tiny as fuck, where you have no electricity, any help is not coming for hours. So
Jailhouse
going
rules,
to something
up.
that serious and then getting into a fight like that, like it should have never happened. But what it did is it showed all the other Marines. It was like, yo, this motherfucker is a killer too. Like he might be in the Navy shit, but bro, I still got an M4 and a pistol too.
Facts.
I'm a killer out there. And then once we were in firefights, and I remember one time, bro, I was firing through a wall, like, or right to the side of the wall, like leaning up, bop, 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 bop. There was like some wadis that they were taking cover, and we're seeing the dirt hit, pop, 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 and fucking they're exchanging some shots, like pop, pop, pop.
It's not common for a doc to do that with us.
Exactly. Well, and bro, my sergeant fucking like grabbed me by the little strap on the back of the
flak,
and he's like, Doc, get the fuck back. He's like, if you get hurt, then none of us are gonna be able to get back on the guns. And like at that point, I had to realize, I was like, fuck, like I am the corpsman, like I can't be up here.
Still, it's a good thing to see all of us.
But they see that, the Marines see that.
Yes.
And not every corpsman, like I just talked about the one who froze, like not every corpsman is like that. And so the Marines see that. But I would have joined the Marines if corpsman was in the Marines.
Goes a long way though.
I literally joined with FMF in my contract, so I had already known. Originally, I wanted to be a rescue swimmer, but my eyesight wasn't good enough. So I was like, all right, well, what's the fucking next best thing? And my recruiter was like, shit, you could be a Navy corpsman and go with the Marines. And I was like, I had already wanted to join the Marines when I was in high school, and I never ended up doing it. And I was
let's touch on us meeting for the first time and us going to Afghanistan, and maybe a story or two from like our pump. From your perspective.
I mean, in the wire or back home training or in Japan when we linked up, because.
So the first time I met Dre was us linking up in K-Bay and getting our team together. And right away, me and him just fucking clanked heads. We were both, you know, lifters. We were both had the same mindset. We were friends instantly.
Yeah, how much can you bench?
Yeah, all that.
You don't got 2 plates?
First thing Dre did was come up to me and fucking grab me by my arm. He's like, "Oh yeah, you think you're big?" We were just friends at first sight. We had a good relationship, and
I was trying to welcome you in the squad.
You did.
You
did.
You police that came all the way from Japan to come join us killers, and we had a little special unit. So you know, and I was going through rehabilitation for my pelvis.
You know, I don't think at the time we realized how special of like a mission that we had over there, dude. And
oh yeah, for sure.
you know, even to this day, I'm just like realizing how dangerous it was where we were at. How you know
time.
secluded we were. Like living outside the wire. Eyes are on you at all times.
Not just that, but living with the police only, we were outnumbered.
Explain that a little bit.
We lived with the Afghanistan Highway Patrol, and it was about 120 of them to about 19 of us. Doc Gardner ended up getting hurt. His like arm fucked up from the first deployment, so like it was just me. We ended up getting the other corpsman not till like 4 months later. So I think it was like at one point 18, and then maybe it was 19 of us or something. But
what was our schedule again? We did 3 patrols a day.
I mean, it really just depended on the mission because sometimes, you know, it would change.
Sometimes we catch an IED.
We were basically just trying to build the police up so they could protect their own area. Because I could tell people, if you could imagine if there were no police, let's say in Los Angeles, there were no police, what would happen? The Bloods and the Crips or whatever the game's called would take over and they would dominate. And that's exactly what's happened in Afghanistan, for example, where we were at. Because there was like some city life when you guys went to Herat, and you got to fucking ride on the motorcycle and shit. There was some places that did have some city life. I've never been to Kabul, but if you look up at Kabul, you know, they're wearing like jeans and shit. But like we were in the like literal Pashtun speaking. Everybody is traditional Muslim type shit. 4 wives. Dudes are riding camels.
They're looking at us like astronauts, dude. Like they hadn't seen many Americans clearly, and you know, it definitely was a heavily entrenched area for Taliban. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we saw kids running kites every time we're driving through. I mean, the bazaar empties out.
You remember when fucking Captain stopped the patrol because like he saw a little like shiny bit of light hit his eye?
So for some reason,
he get an award for that.
For some reason, our captain, he always would
hit his next.
He was always in the first truck with us, and he could just find IEDs that were not visible.
Like he had a sense.
A sixth sense for it. But tell him about that time you found out.
So you're in Vic 1 at that point. I think I'm in Vic 2 or Vic 3. And
it's kind of my responsibility to find these things because I'm up in the gun. And he's... Talk about it, dude.
Yeah, so we're driving. I think it was probably the 606. And like painting the picture for you. It's like a fucking mound of dirt that they've like kind of turned into a road, and it's like so many people have driven over it that it turns into a road. And like you have these big ass fuel tankers, and like it's a logistic hub. And we're basically, you know, to the left and to the right, you look, it's just fucking mud huts and just mud and desert. And we're kind of like high up because it's like a mound, so there's like wadis and shit all along the side of the road, like where the water would irrigate naturally. And we're driving, it's like middle of the day on a regular ass patrol, and fucking, I don't even know who, I don't even think Captain said we're stopping. I think he had just like told, I think it was Cervantes driving.
Yeah, he just told him to stop.
Told him to stop, jumped out the fucking car. I think Staff Sergeant was maybe in the second vehicle, and he got on the radio and was like, hey, you know, told the convoy to hold up. And literally, fucking Captain Donnerstag like jumped out his car like he had seen like a glimmer,
I think from the copper wire.
From the wire, like hit his eye or some shit. And he immediately said to stop. And bro, it was literally like a fucking 200, 300 meter long copper wire that a motherfucker was just ready to just push to the power. And this motherfucker like ran out like Superman type shit and just like, and like he never even got an award for that, bro.
No.
And it was like it was nothing. And then we like literally.
He did that multiple times.
I know. I'm about to say. Then we like literally packed up and just like
went on our way.
Like bro, just saved the whole convoy. And
both of our roads were riddled with IEDs, mainly because
the point where the civilians would hit them. Bro. You remember the fucking
all the time.
So
So Route 1 was where all the fuel tankers would pass through to hit all the main fobs. So constantly,
and Afghanistan owned fuel too, because we were near Delaram, a major city.
Well, but constantly the Taliban would RPG the fuel trucks. Remember?
Yep.
That's a sight to see, man.
Those motherfuckers would be on fire for weeks, bro.
And the
heat from that shit.
The people just get eviscerated that are driving it, and that's not a good smell, man. I grew up a lot over there, dude, and I think so. Me and Dre volunteered a lot to be the guys that went out to some of these smaller PBs and establish them and go on patrols with the local AHP and basically teach them how to survive out there. But when you get immersed in the culture, I can't even describe it to you. It's.
I was almost. I mean, I wasn't fluent, but I was speaking.
No, we could talk. Like, we could talk to them, dude.
I could still count to 10. Y'all said Chad Pashi.
Askunjasti, where you from? You know, Hobie, good.
Yeah, and the dudes I was talking about this earlier. The dudes that rogered up, that were the police, bro. Like, think about it. If your fucking town is taken over by gang members with guns, like, most people aren't gonna roger up and be brave enough to stand in this new police force that you gotta trust the Americans are helping you out with. So, like, the people that we were with, especially the younger ones, because half of the people we were with were ex-Mujahideen that were still good dudes who didn't end up going with Taliban or Al-Qaeda. But the younger dudes, like, they were just, like, really good dudes who rogered up to protect their country and make it better. And so you saw that and you really connected with them. There wasn't cell phones, We're fucking cooking our own food, buying it, whatever. It's like, so you bonded in a way that...
I don't know if you remember this, dude. You were out there with me. We were out way down 606. It was that one all the way down there on the right. And we got in a quick tick. We started getting shots at. We exchanged fire back and forth, whatever. It was this little thing. But after it was done, the local guys, the AHP, the highway patrol we were with, they felt so proud to have fought with us. They made us a meal.
I remember that.
And these guys have nothing. They have no money.
Bread.
It brought us together, and we ate the way we all sat down, crossed legs. They come around, wash your hands,
eat the rice with your hands.
Just the fact that they did that for us, I don't know, it really meant so much to me.
It was like some old school shit, bro. Like back with tribes, like it got down to like the tribal human layer that with our modern world, you don't really have those type of experiences. Maybe you go out hunting with your boys and you kill a deer or something, you might feel half of what we're talking about.
But it really humanized them for me, man. Like,
for sure.
I went over there very ignorant, thinking kill. These people are terrorists, towel heads. I didn't know anything about the culture. And living with them like that, it made me realize these people are just like me and you. And, they're showing us respect over here. These people have nothing. And they're going above and beyond to give us a meal and take care of us. They made it. They were proud because we were staying with them, and they were charged with
hospitable,
being hospitable to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
they were very,
and just showing us that. Something small like that. Just I don't know, man. It meant a lot.
I mean,
to
like,
me.
and at the end of the day, even though we were over there for like the agendas of the powerful, and you can say it's for oil, whatever the fuck, but at the end of the day, we were over there to help people, and like there was like at one point we helped put security down so they could build a school, and they ended up letting the girls go to school, and a couple places that we actually didn't have security on. Some Taliban or Al-Qaeda dudes like ran by and like threw acid on the girl's face and like burned their face. And when you're fucking hearing of stories like that, like a 9-year-old girl that for the first time in her life gets to go to school and she's walking to school and gets acid thrown at her, you want to fucking kill those people. And so like on some level, we were doing some good there, in that small sense, not more in the large sense. But when you're doing that good with people, the respect is there. They respect you because you're there helping them, and we respect them because like you have respect. You're like, this dude's a fucking killer like me.
See, a lot of people though, they don't understand the positions these Afghans are in, because if they talk to us and help us, they're just going to get slaughtered by the Taliban for doing that,
which a lot of them did.
And very true. And if they don't, so the Taliban goes to a lot of these houses and say, hey, we're staying here now, and we're going to use your house as a bunker for us to attack. If they don't let them do that, they're just going to get killed. So
they'll take over someone's field and be like, we're growing all the poppy here and we're taking every fucking cent, and if you don't like it, we'll kill you. And they're just like, they're these weak,
they're just trying to survive.
90-pound men in a dress that don't have no weapons, that got a wife in the back and a couple kids, and they're just trying to survive, literally, and they'll do what the Taliban says. And so that was really what our job was, to come in there and kind of clear that out.
Yeah.
But then, you know, we left.
How can you trust that, dude? Because we just come in there.
They shouldn't have trusted us, bro.
Exactly.
And the ones that did got fucked.
Yeah. So right after we left, all the guys that we were working with, they all got slaughtered. And think about that. Like, these people, they were proud to be fighting with us.
They Singer, yeah, you remember him, the young buck?
Yeah, of course. The
interpreter.
They thought that after training with us, they were going to be able to, you know, really combat the Taliban and make a difference. They wanted a free Afghanistan, and to hear that everything we did over there got erased is hard.
Not even erased, bro. If this was a bank account, that bitch is in negative, because now the same people we fought are driving around in our fucking MRAPs and our MAT-Vs, and they've got a lot of our equipment to the point where it's like, okay, I literally was over there for nothing.
How can you even explain that? Like, we're referring to President Biden deciding to leave all of the gear that we were utilizing over there, just over there.
Bro, it's just so disrespectful. The Taliban will be like driving a convoy of all of our vehicles, like with the Taliban flags on their shit.
I mean, you heard about us paying the Taliban, right?
I've heard about a lot of shit, bro, and it's never usually good.
I mean, and
when
you know,
that kind of stuff.
There's no point in really, you know, going back and forth about these negative things, because we all know that, you know, whoever is running this world, they don't have good intentions, and they just profit off, you know, war. But it's hard. I'm talking about the deconstruction process again, dude. Like, you want to be proud about, because we did do good things over there. There were positive things that we made changes over there. But at the end of the day, what was really accomplished in the grand scheme of things? All these interpreters and people that, you know, decided to help us and work with us, they all got slaughtered.
I know. And a lot of our money got wasted that we could have used. Just let that country do its thing. Let's work on our own country. We could have used that money to help our own country to build. We should have bullet trains. Japan got bullet trains. South Korea got them. China got them. How come we don't have them?
We found out when we were over there. So all the roads that we were going up and down kept getting blown up, and our captain would get cash, and he was tasked with hiring a contractor to fix the roads. We found out the contractor was just paying the Taliban to keep coming to blow them up. So all the money that we were just dishing out over there.
How about, do you remember when the prisoners got out?
Yes.
You can look it up, the story, but I want to say maybe like 200 or 500 prisoners that got out. And I don't remember the exact reason why that got out, but it was just like, there was so many demoralizing things that made you really kind of pause and look at the bigger picture. Because when you're young, especially
big picture doesn't matter.
It doesn't, bro. Give me my paycheck. I'm trying to go out party this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got to do deployment. Okay, wait till I get back. I'm about to buy me a fucking range, whatever it is. Like, you don't care about the big picture, bro. But when these things happen to you, you start thinking about the big picture, and especially in the context of this podcast, where, you know, a lot of the people watching,
and it's hard too, because it's uncomfortable.
For sure, but it's part of the process, bro. It's necessary.
I don't think enough people are doing it.
Well, that's why if you're not doing that kind of stuff, you know.
Think about it. All we hear on these YouTube shows are the sexy stories, the tier 1 operators doing all this stuff. But this stuff needs to be talked about more, because you know what? The hardest thing I've ever did was get out of the military and tried surviving in real life and changing who I was to who I really need to be, and being able to deconstruct that and build yourself back up and find something new to get into.
While dealing with a heightened nervous system that has been stretched and pulled into ways that your nervous system will never go back into
being stuck in fourth gear all the time.
This is what my doctor said this one to me. He said, it's like, for example, if you go to a stadium and the fireworks go off in the stadium, not all of the cars in the parking lot's car alarm will go off. Only the car alarms that are sensitive. And so that's kind of been something that I've helped myself is, you know, I'm not broken. I'm not fucked up. I mean, you know, if you want to be real, you are, but you got to tell yourself that it's just a new version that you have to like learn how to live with. And once you become like accepting of that, and then you start using your resources, you can actually climb out the hole and be better than you were, in a sense that, you know, you're gonna strive for goals again, and you're gonna want to accomplish things again, and you can get hungry for life again.
Yes.
But you really have to go through that kind of deconstruction process of, you know, what's really keeping you down there. And maybe it's literally just the nervous system, but that's something you have to kind of accept and learn how to live with. And there's different things that can help, and not one thing helps everybody. Like,
absolutely,
not
we're all
medicine
different.
helps everybody, not meditation, like whatever it may be. You don't know if it will help you unless you do it, because it's different for every single person.
Something that really bothered me that I heard from a lot of VA psychiatrists and people that I talk to for PTSD is this is something you're going to have to learn to live with for the rest of your life, and
It's hard to accept that, though.
I don't want to accept that.
I would say you do have to accept that, though, bro, because it's like the sensitive car alarm. Once you accept that, now you can actually move forward because you put things into place.
You know, it's what I've been trying lately that I thought was working, and I realized it really isn't, is just completely trying to forget it all. Never think about it. And what I don't realize what that causes, you see little things that remind you of it, and you're instantly snapped back into like a quick 5 seconds of it, and it makes it so more powerful because you haven't been thinking about it for so long. It's weird how you can't escape it, man.
Well, the modern human being is not built to be, fighting for their life and then come back into a society where it's like, I got to wake up and go to work, and, you know, someone's at Starbucks
follow these rules.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, the modern human being, like if we were back in the day and you kind of just like stayed like that way, it'd be a different story. But the modern human being, those things don't mix. And once you go into that one world and you break those social contracts, and your nervous system will forever be heightened, and you try to have to come back into real life, there's a big transition period that, you know, not everybody, I have it on my social media, combat makes most people worse, only some better. And so you really have to try to make sure that that part of your life makes you better. Even if your better is not the best version you've ever been, it's better than the version you are now.
Yes.
Because that's what really counts at the end of the day.
What do you think? I mean, since we've been out, how long has it been now? 15 years? 16 years?
I got out in 2014, so 11 years for me.
So we've been dealing with PTSD for about that long. What's something that you can take away from it, man? What's something that, that has worked for you, and maybe, or maybe the most significant thing that you've learned about yourself dealing with PTSD?
Just to, like I said, accept it.
Yeah.
Like, because for a long time, I mean, even to this day, when I have to like admit it, that's when I really do get like a battle in my mind where, if I can't control it, like physically, my heart starts beating, I get sweaty, like
anxiety,
and it's like a tumble down the hill. But if I just kind of accept that this is how it's gonna be, sometimes I don't get as mad or sad about it, because I just kind of understand, like, like I say about the nervous system, like I understand why that happens. Like my brain had to rewire, brain plasticity, like your brain rewires based off of your circumstances. So I've kind of like had to like push myself to learn about these things, but it allowed me to give myself a little bit of grace and, not be as depressed about the fact that I'll never be the same again, or that my youth was wasted.
I think I need to do more. What you did is like go outside of the VA and read more, like
read about the body. A really good book that got me, Atul Gawande, The Body Keeps Count. And actually, he's a great writer. He has some other books like The Checklist Manifesto and stuff. I recommend these books. But that's what really did help me, was like that he put that into perspective about the body keeps count. And it's not just even for people who have been to war. It's also people who have been abused, or things that they grew up with.
There's a huge spectrum.
And that kind of knowledge can help you understand why your body's reacting in that way. And when you do have to go battle your mind and your physiological responses start going on, and you have to like try to talk yourself down, having that understanding for me has helped me be able to, kind of come back down and understand shit.
When I got out of the Marines, I did the VA PTSD program for about 6 years, dude. And it really scared me, because all it was was them putting me in a program where I went in once a week and I talked to them about things that bothered me and my PTSD. They didn't say anything back. They just recorded it.
They wanted you to be desensitized to it.
So they just kept recording everything. They didn't tell me anything I could do to help or anything. They would just, and then the program would get shut down. And then I wouldn't hear from them for 3 months, and then a new program would start, and they'd say how different it was and how they were trying these new things, and it would be the exact same thing. So me seeing that, I'm like, these people don't know anything about this right now. Like, what? It scared me, honestly. I was like, it made me think
Our
that
medical system wasn't prepared for
Very true.
an influx of all these grown-ass men who had just come back from war. Like, you know, before that, it was Desert Storm. You had some guys in the 90s. Before
battle
that,
stress,
Korea, Vietnam, World War II, World War I. So, like, there's, like, some large gaps where we just really didn't have things in place to help these people. And so if you're going to send these people to war, you better have all the stuff to help them get back into society. And it wasn't all there. It's still getting put together now.
Yeah, of course.
And that would be something I would tell people listening as well is figure out, just like Nick has, figure out where you could fit in, right? Like I figured out where I could fit in. And that in itself right there could really help you guys out. And so I challenge people, go on usajobs.gov, go on governmentjobs.com, see the type of jobs that are out there that you can actually work with the military as a civilian still. And, you know, you can kind of be yourself in the job because people there understand you. Most of the people you work with are going to be veterans. And find a place where you can fit in. So, you know, first step is to get the mental part, get your mental health taken care of, go to your VA doctor. The second part is get your physical life, like start getting some routines, even if you're injured or something like that. You know, I walk around the park and do some stand-up push-ups. Like I can't bench press 315 or whatever anymore, but it is what it is. I gotta keep doing something, right? I gotta keep moving forward. And then after you get your mental and your physical, then get that paycheck right again, because that's something too. When you get taken out the military, like I'm not making as much money out of the BAH or whatever. Like I'm not getting the food money, and so it does change everything. But you can find a place to fit in and kind of help and fight back in a sense where it's helping you, but it's also a job.
Yes.
And so I really challenge people, because the VA, especially if you have over 30%, you're gonna get 10 points on your resume. So they score these resumes federally on points. So if it's 90 points versus 90 points, if you're a 30% or more disabled veteran, you're going to get an extra 10 points. And so it will put you in a position where you might now make the cut for the 5 people for the interview. So there's things like that you can really utilize your resources. The VA has, in San Diego, we have the WAVE program. But wherever you live, they have programs that can help you get back into jobs. If you haven't used Voc Rehab, use Voc Rehab. That can help you go to school. Even if you've exhausted your GI Bill, it can help you get a trade program, get a certification. There's Boots to Business. VA Boots to Business program can help you start a business. There are so many resources out there, and of course, not everybody knows them all. But I highly recommend you guys to utilize these resources. If something I said here is like, dang, I'm interested in that, hit up Nick on the side.
Absolutely.
You know, he can hit me up. I'll help him help you track down these resources. But that's where I've actually found my place back in the military, is working with the Department of Defense in prevention and helping all of the current active duty utilize these resources so that they can help prevent a lot of these statistics, people that get into these statistical positions.
So it is possible to find something. Yeah.
It is 100%. It might not be that. Like it might be you're working in a damn jet factory or something, you know, like, but you're part of the shit again in a different way now. And that in itself could really help somebody out. I know for me that did help out a lot. So, you know, the real point of us even getting on this and sharing tonight was to just continue the work that Nick's done and giving people a space and an opportunity to really sit, kind of talk about these things, reminisce. But also, bro, if you're one of these guys that hasn't seen the VA in 4 or 5 years, what are you waiting on, man?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go see the VA, bro. They're gonna help you out, and don't go over there to chase percentages like Cats will be like, oh yeah, I'm using this company to get this percentage or whatever, bro. Don't go there for that, dog. Go there for literally getting help, and if there's shit that they're gonna help you with, it's gonna start getting documented, and the claims process and stuff like that, it will be second nature. You know, a lot of people they're going after the percentages or the money when it's really you should be going after taking care of yourself, and then that stuff will come afterwards. So really challenge some of you guys, utilize these resources. You got the internet.
You kind of
got
just
AI.
answered it, but just to close this up, what would you say to guys similar to us that maybe are struggling, maybe haven't found that purpose again? What's something you can recommend, because we've all been down and out, man.
For sure. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm not there.
You know what I mean?
Almost weekly.
How do you, what do you use sometimes to rekindle that and get up and keep going, dude?
I mean, for me, honestly, and everybody's shit is different. For me, it's really pouring into my kids as much as I can, because that gives me a sense of purpose. But also, I like to play video games, man. Like I shut the door, I put my headphones on, and I'm in another world, and I've got my buddies on there, and we might accomplish some shit in the game, like you were talking about earlier. And usually they're they're around military settings and stuff like that, and then that might be a trigger for other people. So the same for everybody, but for me, that kind of has given me like another world that I can kind of
that's cool.
Escape out of. Yeah. And
all those little problems aren't there. It's just the simple.
I mean, they're there in a sense. Sometimes like I might like thought I saw something at the corner of my eye, and I got my headphones on, and I fucking ripped my headphones off, and then my heart started beating. So like that. But that instead of me like now going into, oh fuck, I can't believe this shit, I'm fucked up, I'm 39, like blah blah blah, and then you're in depression. Instead of doing that, I'm able to just remember, like, yeah, bro, I literally have a heightened nervous system, and I've had to be on a level of survival that most bodies aren't, and once your body gets to that level, it doesn't ever go back down.
Dude, once again, I think at the end of the day, the whole thing you're talking about is being getting to a level of maturity where you can truly accomplish being accountable to oneself, being true to yourself, because it's not easy to look inside and be like, hey, this is wrong, I'm not doing this right, I'm messing up here, I need to fix these things. To be able to be truly accountable is not easy, dude. It took me a while, because even when your homeboy, dude, like takes time to be like, hey, bro, I mean, maybe you should need to do this or this or this, dude. A lot of people take offense to that and lash out, when you should be thinking, dude, for someone to fucking try to help you like that, that means they really care. You know what I mean? Like, but regardless, accountability is a big thing in all this, dude.
It is. Find your why again, man. Find your why. Like, why are you doing it? For me, it's my kids. And my wife and my children, for me, are everything. I still got my small group of friends that I keep in touch with and make sure they're doing good and stuff. But you got to connect back to the why. Why Facts. Am I still on this planet? And your life is valuable. You are not just valuable in terms of, like money and stuff, because you can like do labor and stuff, but like value in a sense that if you look at the world, right, the world's made of matter. There's matter that's non-living, and there's living matter. We are built of the same thing, of the roads, of the ground, of the trees, but the trees are alive, the humans are alive, the roads and stuff like that, the rocks are not alive in any sense that we know. So like at some point you have to realize that you're special, because
that slim chance.
How many millions of sperm?
Exactly.
Like you didn't get in a miscarriage. You didn't die already. Like how much resources, pounds of meat and water have you, air, breathed? Like all of these things. If you can connect back to why are you on this planet, that right there can make the biggest difference in how your perspective going forward is and where that perspective leads you. So, definitely challenge you guys. Try to get back to becoming the best version of yourself. And for me, it's kind of...
Do it for you.
I kind of look back in life and I see the best things I did here and the best things I did here. And I try to bring those into the life that I'm in today. So, never perfect. Fucking, you might catch me next week down and out. But the next day, I'm going to try to get out of that.
Being able to pick yourself up and keep plugging, I think, is the...
Because you're not going to get fixed, bro.
No.
You're not.
You got to figure it out on your own.
And you're going to be okay, though. There's resources. There's homeboys. There's, if you're homeless or some shit, like, bro, there's programs out there that can help your ass get to where you
got to want it.
Exactly. That's the biggest deal. And if maybe you're listening and you know somebody like this, bro, give them a call tomorrow. Yeah. Let them know, hey, bro, I was listening to the podcast. It really motivated me. Like, yo, I know I need to go get some treatment and stuff like that, but what about you? Not to mention, bro, if you're getting the treatment, that's evidence for when you apply for your claims to make sure you can get paid for,
you need to know this stuff. The information's out there.
It is.
Once again, no one's gonna do it for you. Put in
If
the
you
work.
need help, hit us up.
Yeah, seriously, that's what we're here for, man.
For sure.
Yeah, we get something out of it. But you hear it, Dr. Dre in the building, Vegas. We're
Appreciate
heading
you
out.
letting me come on,
Absolutely,
bro.
brother. Always great to see you. Bye.